Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's reading, we are going to get messages from the person on your mind right now. So whoever you're thinking of right now, we're going to get some messages from them, see what they have to say to you, get messages from their higher self, their lower human self, and just see what they have to say. And today we're choosing from a selection of tropical fruits. If it's your first time on my channel, I do pick a card readings, but with food instead of actual cards, but basically you're going to see which fruit you feel really drawn to, energetically connected to, and then as soon as you make up your mind, you can scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and in the description and jump right into your pile. So I am going to show you guys the numbers on each of these different fruits. So this is going to be pile number 1, then we have pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. So basically, there's no wrong way to decide on the fruit pile. You might feel automatically connected to one, or if you're having trouble deciding and making up your mind, you can feel free to close your eyes, take a moment and see what pops into your head, whether it's a color or a number or the name of the fruit, or just pausing and hanging out with the fruit and seeing which one emerges as the choice. Either way, there's no wrong way to decide, and trust that the pile you choose will have the message for you. I do want to mention to you guys that if you like my content, I do have an additional Patreon channel where you can see all my additional readings, over 45 additional readings that you'll get access to when you sign up, and they are about life, love, spirituality, career, relocation, money, so many different topics for you guys to choose from, and we have a lot of fun over there. We do 18 plus readings occasionally, and we also suggest and vote on new topics. So there's a lot of choice and freedom over there, and I hope you will join us. So if you would like to join my Patreon, then just go to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join our little club over on Patreon. And if you guys would also like to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. The link is in the description for that as well. And you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me. You can have me pull tarot for you, channel mediumship or intuitively, or have me read your astrology, or have a combination. You can get a year ahead reading, or you can ask me a specific question or keep it very open-ended and treat it like an energy check-in. But if you would like to get any kind of reading with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I would love to do a reading for you. So with all of that being said, guys, if you need more time to decide and pick out your pile, feel free to take as much time as you need, pause, rewind, do whatever you have to do. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Okay, so pile 1, if you guys pick these green grapes, this is going to be your reading. So you can see it looks really realistic. They even have some coloring, like some red coloring that really looks like a real grape, and they have the grape leaves as well. So really great job, and it's very big, life size. Anyways, guys, let's get into the cards. We got the Magician, 5 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Pentacles. The first message I'm intuitively hearing in my head is something like, I'm sorry I couldn't be good enough for you, or I'm sorry I couldn't work through this for you. I'm sorry I maybe even was too lazy to put in the work, and I wasn't willing or able to do that. So I feel like this person does regret. This might be someone from your past, because they're coming through with a little bit of regret. I'm going to be interested to see how this develops. It could be that this is someone from your past coming through, but another soulmate will emerge. But this seems like it might be one of your soulmates, that this might have been a very impactful connection, at least, where this person made a major impact on you and an imprint, and really, you know, it was a deep connection. It was something that you both couldn't really forget. And I almost feel like this person is saying that they couldn't step up to the plate. I'm hearing, I was scared. I feel like this person was scared by the intensity of the connection between you guys, by their feelings at the time. Maybe it made them feel really vulnerable to like you as much as they did. But I do feel like it's like this person kind of ran away. You know, they just couldn't do it, kind of a thing. And I feel like this person has had a lot of time to sit with this regret and to be like, wow, I can't believe I didn't measure up to it. And I feel like they are acknowledging that a lot of the problems weren't coming from you, but it was coming from them and their inability to be brave emotionally and to give you what you needed. Like, I almost feel like some of you guys might have had a discussion with this person about, like, I need you to do this, or like, when are you gonna XYZ? I don't know, take me out on a date, or when are you gonna ask me out, or when are you gonna propose, or something like that. And this person couldn't, like, I don't know, it's like almost like they chickened out, or they didn't want to at the time and they were being stubborn. And now they're like, why didn't I just do that? Why didn't I just take care of it? You know, why did I hold on to my pride? Why was I letting my immature lower self run the show? Why wasn't I like really treating this person with the respect they deserve because of the importance of this connection and how deep it was? I want to get some song cards because you know I love reading these. Spirit, please give me some song cards for pile one. What songs do we have? Pillow Talk by Zayn. Every Little Kiss, Bruce Hornsby. Harvest Moon, Neil Young. Just Say Yes, Snow Patrol. I feel like in a way, like, you didn't even know how much of an impact you also had on this person. Maybe you kind of felt like you liked them more or something like that, but they're saying like, you had no idea the power and control you had over me. You had no idea that like I hung on your every word and that I was so into you. And I almost feel like that might have been why this person didn't want to like do what you asked. If you did come to them and ask them of something, or if energetically they could just feel that you wanted something from them, they might have been resistant or hesitant to give that to you. And I feel like a big part of that is because they're like, if I give that to them, then they're gonna know how much I care. So it's almost like they might have been trying to act like too cool for school, or trying to act like whatever. You know, it's kind of like sometimes when someone really likes someone, they might be like trying to play games more because they're like, oh, I don't want to blow this, so I don't want to call them right away back, so I'm going to like wait 3 days to return their call. And in a way, the person who like really doesn't care is like, sure, I'll call them back right away. And I'm not saying like I think that's immature to play games like that, but I feel like that's what this person might have been doing. Like, they might have been afraid that if they came to you and really were super vulnerable with you, or just not that you were asking them to be super vulnerable, but I feel like they just wanted to give off a vibe of they never wanted you to know how much they liked you, because I feel like if you knew, they were also afraid you might run away, and they were just afraid also of getting hurt themselves because they liked you so much. It's kind of like, you know, the person you respect, if they say like if say you respected someone's style, like say you have a friend who's just super fashionable and they look really good, and every time they put together an amazing outfit and you're like, oh, it's just, I love the way you dress. And then maybe you were like dressed up for a night and you were like, I don't know about this dress, or I don't know about this outfit, and you went up to them and you were like, so what do you think? What do you think about the heels with the dress and the earrings? What's your opinion? And they were like, oh my God, yeah, it's not the best. It doesn't really look good. You would be like devastated, right? And then let's be honest, we have friends who don't have such a good sense of style, and they might be like, oh, I don't really like those. And you'll be like, okay, anyway, wait, where is Elena? Let me ask her about this. Like, you don't care what they have to say, right? You don't care about someone's opinion when you don't respect them, but when you do respect someone's opinion, it's almost like they could crush you, you know, that they have that hold over you. And I feel like this person really respected you and really saw you as like your opinion meant so much to them. It could have been something tiny. Like, you might have like said that, you know, you don't like a certain type of music, and they never listened to that music again. You know, I'm seeing images from like I don't know, they're showing me scenes from like Pride and Prejudice 2006 version, which is my favorite, when I don't know, Mr. Darcy or someone says, oh, I like a woman who reads a lot, and Elizabeth Bennet is reading and she like shuts the book and pretends not to be. But I feel like in that way, like, he had a lot of respect for her. You know, he was always like wanting to know what she thought of things and her opinion on things. He respected her. And I feel like that's the vibe here, is like, this person actually really respected you. They kind of looked up to you. Your opinion mattered a lot to them. So if you had rejected them, I feel like they would have felt so devastated. So it's almost like they ran ran away from that possibility. They were like, this is too painful. I'm not dealing with this. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why they might not have stepped up the way you needed it. Let's get some more cards. I will always love you, Whitney Houston. Wow, very deep emotions. Okay, trains to Brazil, Guillermo. Hypnotized, Fleetwood Mac. And finally, Rosalind, Bon Iver, St. Vincent, and gorgeous Taylor Swift. They still find you super physically attractive. That's coming through really strong. Just the level of physicality with you, your physical looks, your appearance is very, very, very beautiful to them. And also I feel if you guys did progress to like a physical stage of your relationship and things started, you know, becoming romantic or sexual in nature, I feel like they definitely enjoyed that. They might just think that you're very good in bed or something like that. Or you have a sexual energy you exude. Maybe you guys have a prominent Venus or Mars aspects or different sexual placements, but I feel like this person sees you as very sensual, kind of like a goddess or a god in that sense. Like they just feel like you are so good in bed, and that, you know, they'll probably never find someone who's that talented between the sheets. So that's something that they definitely think about when it comes to you, is just your sexuality and the sexual energy you guys give off. Let's get some more cards for pile 1. Got the Page of Cups, King of Cups. You know, I feel like in a way with this person, it's kind of like they, even though they tried to resist it, you really opened up a lot of emotions for them. And I feel like they're very grateful for that as well. And I feel like they kind of think of you whenever they need some inspiration, or whenever they might be feeling bored with their life, their kind of mind drifts off to you. I feel like you opened that room for them in their soul, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was a locked door before and you flung it wide open coming into their life, because I feel like there was something that, like, even though they tried to run away from these emotions, they really couldn't, because you unleashed a lot of feelings inside of them, a lot of emotions and things they didn't really want to feel, but they felt so deeply. And so I feel like because of that, in a way, you know, maybe sometimes when they're feeling bored with their life, or if they're in another relationship, this person doesn't trigger the same feelings and emotions and intensity that you did. And so they might think back to their time with you and reminisce about that and go back to that place, because it's almost like, oh wow, I can feel again. I can be, you know, in love again, because I'm not anymore. And now my life feels very dry. So on one hand, they were terrified of the emotions you unleashed within them, but on the other hand, they also crave that and miss that so deeply. And I'm hearing that quote from Rumi where he says, what is it? I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like, somewhere there's a field, I'll find you there, or I'll meet you there. And, or yeah, it's, wow, it was such a bad reading of it. Somewhere beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field, I'll meet you there. I feel like in a way, this person has a little part of their brain that they go to whenever they are really missing and craving your energy, where they'll just reminisce about you. And when that happens, you might suddenly feel inundated with thoughts of them that seem to come out of the blue, like you're driving and suddenly boom, 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 you just can't stop thinking about them. A lot of that is because this person, you know, does this habitually and on purpose. Like they're not just accidentally getting reminded of you. I feel like when they get stressed or when they get upset, they definitely replay memories with you and think back to times with you, and it kind of cheers them up or puts them back in like a happier, more romantic kind of mind state. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Let me get into these cards. Spirit, please give me guidance from these cards about how this person views. Feels like you guys might have walked away, or you weren't willing to tolerate. You weren't willing to tolerate pile 1's behavior. Or like I said, there might have been a conversation about like, oh yeah, you might have been really blunt. As I'm saying, there might have been a conversation, because I feel like you might have told them what you needed. And it's almost like this person was almost being petulant, like a child, being like, I'm not going to do it, even though they knew they should. It was like this immature sense of, you're not going to boss me around. You're not going to tell me what to do. And I feel like they really respect the fact that you left, but also regret how they handled things. I almost feel like this person would be willing to apologize to you, but they might be too prideful to do that. Let me see what else. What does this person's higher self want to come through to say, Spirit? What does this person's higher self want to come through to say? I have to shuffle this deck kind of slow because it's big cards. There's always a way. Okay, so they might still think they have a chance with you somehow. Boss up. I feel like they also are a little bit intimidated by everything you've accomplished in your life right now, because it feels like some of you guys have really leveled up in some ways, and so this is where this person might be like trying to scheme up a way to come back into your life, but they're like, there's no way, like I can't. How would they let me in? Why would they let me in? Look at their life, everything's on point. I feel like some of you guys, like, not only have you glowed up financially, but you look really good. You look really attractive and beautiful still since you left this relationship. Like, you're not, and I can see that for, if you're watching this channel, there's a very high likelihood that you're attractive, because I do private readings and I'm telling you, I have such attractive viewers. It's crazy. And I just was reading something and they said when they group people into groups, that a lot of times it's funny, like based on what people like if someone likes a certain movie or whatever, they'll have a similar look to them. And I feel like my people who watch Briar Rose Tarot are also attractive. So I really do feel like a lot of you guys, like, you've aged really well. You look really good. You're glowing, you're looking gorgeous. And whoever this person is dating, and I can say this again from actually meeting so many of you, that this person that they're dating just can't compare, and they know it. So I feel like there's a lot of intimidation. It's kind of like they look back to you and you're just like this weird blip that happened to them of like, when did that take place? How did that take place? Why did that take place? Why did someone like Pile 1 ever be interested in me? But yeah, the feeling is, I feel like this person is very wistful. They might even like showing you off to friends or talking about you to people they meet. Like, almost like, I feel like this person, this is weird, but they might bring you up in like a roundabout way. You know how sometimes you'll be like talking to someone, or maybe you go on like a first date or a meetup situation, or you meet someone at a bar and you're kind of getting to know them, and then they somehow find a way to work their ex-girlfriend into the conversation. Of course, I'm a girl, I'm talking to guys, so I don't know if, guys, I'm sure guys experience the same thing with girls who will bring up their ex-boyfriend, but you're like, oh, okay, like maybe you order a drink and then, the guy is like, oh, my ex loved espresso martinis. Yeah, she would drink them all day. And you're like, okay, so I guess we're talking about your ex then. Okay, so you're not over her clearly, because why would you be going on and on about her? And I feel like that's something this person kind of does with you. And they might even disguise it, because I notice a lot of the guys who will bring it up, like, they do disguise it, where they'll be like, yeah, she was really selfish and blah, blah. But you're like, okay, but you're still talking about her. So you obviously liked something about her, because you're still fixated on her, and I'm talking to you right now and you're still talking about this other chick. So clearly you still have a lot of feelings. And I feel like that's the thing, is this person might have even disguised like talking about you as like, let me get this off my chest because I'm annoyed, or, like Pile 1, they were selfish or they were too demanding or something like that. But it's just a cover up, because honestly, they would talk about you all day long if they could. And there's the element of ego with this person, with them being very trying to protect their ego, not wanting to feel comfortable, or not wanting to feel like a loser, because I feel like in a way you made them feel like a loser, not on purpose by anything you did, but just because this person might have low self-esteem in general. And then I feel like getting with you, honestly, some of you guys feel a little demanding, but not in a bad way. I think that's a good thing, to know your worth. And it feels like that's what you did. We literally pulled know your worth as I'm saying it. I'm like, where have I heard that phrase? Oh yeah, the card. But yeah, that's where you guys knew your worth. Like, it feels like you walk into the room with dignity. You walk into the room and people turn their heads and people look at you, and there's a lot of natural beauty around you. And so this person, I feel like, you know, you weren't willing to tolerate the bad behavior with them, and there was something that they needed to do, whether it was like they really liked you but they never fully officially asked you out, or whether it was you guys were together but they weren't willing to like make it exclusive and official or propose or whatever you wanted. I feel like there was something you wanted from them that it's almost like they wanted to withhold it, or they never gave it to you. And I feel like that's when a lot of you guys walked away from this situation. And as much as this person was irritated by that at the time, they also respect the heck out of it. Let's get some of these cards too. So we want to know, what is pile one's person thinking about them? What do they want them to know? We got the Rainbow Prince. Okay, so this person still has the intention to like come back around, I feel. Yeah. They feel like even if things haven't been, you guys aren't together now, they still feel like they might have the chance or the opportunity to get things going again with you at some point in the future. They still feel like they should have another shot. And they still feel like maybe at some point in the future, they're going to come around you and like circle back and be able to, you know, get things going again. They might be lurking on your social media from afar. They might be like checking your stories, checking for updates, checking your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever, and trying to see what you've got going on. I feel like this person does a lot of like lurking from the shadows. I don't feel like they would come to you and be fully honest about like, hey, this is what I really feel for you. But honestly, I feel like this person also lies to the other people around them. I feel like this person would almost talk about you incessantly to even maybe their current partner. Like you might be a topic of conversation with their current partner and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize that they talk about you all the time, and that both of them like are always asking about you, or even making a joke about you, or they might update each other about like, oh, did you see pile one like posted something on Instagram? Oh, it's so lame. But really it's like, it's lamer to be talking about someone's ex with, you know what I mean? Like I would be super annoyed if I was dating someone and they kept bringing up their ex. But I feel like this person and their partner, they might even like bond over kind of like, not making fun of you, but like they just both want to talk about you so much, because I feel like you're just the star of the show for them. Okay, let me pull from this deck. Boundaries. Yes, I feel like you have put up boundaries with them, and it's almost like they can't have access to you anymore. That was too many cards that flew out. Healing. Peace. Freedom. That's another thing. It's almost like there's such an energy about you guys of independence and you not willing to take whatever they were offering you. You putting your foot down and being like, no, I deserve more. I feel like that is just all over this reading, this sense that you were demanding more from them, or you knew you deserved more. And a lot of you guys have gone on to make lives that show how much you deserve, that you have gone on to thrive. You have gone on to be living your best life. And I feel like this person is like, wow. Because also I feel like the thing is, a lot of you moved on with so much dignity. You didn't try to cry or bring this person back or sob about it. You were like, let me stay in my power. Let me respect myself, and I'm going to move on. Okay, cool. So you don't want to be together. You don't want to step up to the plate. I'm going to move on. But this person really deeply misses you. And honestly, I feel like for them, it's almost like they were in denial for a really long time about it. They were in denial about, I don't care that like pile one dumped me or left me. I'm going to do better than her or him. And I'm going to find someone new, and I'm going to date around, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like this person really, for a long time, didn't even want to process their feelings, didn't even want to acknowledge to themselves how much they were hurting and how much they needed you and wanted you so deeply. But I do feel like they did. I feel like for them, this was a deep, deep soul connection. And it's sad that they weren't willing to wake up and be honest with themselves before it all came crashing down. But I really wouldn't be surprised if this person contacts you in the future and like wants to talk to you or something like that. I feel like a lot of them, they just think of you so much. And it's almost like instead of time making it better, because you guys continue to look so good and you continue to thrive and you continue to just live your best life, it's like they can't move on. Time isn't healing it because every time they look up your picture, they're like, oh my God, they look better. So it's like it gets worse and worse. You know what I mean? Let's get some astrology dice. Okay, so we got Cancer, Saturn, and the 5th house. You know, there is a vibe and an energy as well with you guys being great parents, you guys being great kind of homemakers. Not saying that you would have necessarily had to like stay at home and not been allowed to like work outside the home, but you would make a great home. Maybe you're a really good cook, or maybe you are great with kids or something, or maybe you're great with like interior design and like furnishing a space. But I just feel like there's something where this person thinks about, wow, they would have made a great spouse or parent or partner, and I wish I could have seen that aspect about them. I feel like there is some aspect of you that almost reminds them of a mom or a dad, or you're just that caretaking, loving energy towards them. Like it feels like you just emotionally took care of them, emotionally looked after them. There was something so kind and giving and loving about you. And I feel like now this person, they might have even at the time kind of not liked that or looked down upon that and been like, oh God, pile one. They're very Cancerian. They're kind of over emotional, or they're like clingy, and not really taking it for, they took it for granted, you know, they didn't appreciate it the way it should have been appreciated. And I feel like now there's this big like sense of absence of like, I wish they might have even found a different partner who was the opposite of that, who wasn't super emotional and Cancerian, and who wasn't super like sweet to them, and would just be kind of, you know, I don't know, just they didn't have that aspect around them as much. And now I feel like they are starting to really, really feel that absence. And I was going to say maybe more Capricornian because they're opposite each other on the wheel, and we did get Saturn as well. So it could be that their new partner is a little bit, not that, you know, I love Capricorn energy and it can be very caretaking, but not necessarily in the same way Cancer is caretaking, in that loving, sweet, doting, motherly way. Capricorn's like the dad way. It's kind of harsh and kind of mean. You know what I mean? Not saying all dads are mean, but you know what I mean. It's not like your mom who will like cuddle you and cook for you. And so I feel like this person almost like might have derided it, or at the time even derided your connection and been like, oh, like it's not that deep. It wasn't that serious. But now they're like, I wish I had someone in my life to like look after me and take care of me that way, because that truly meant the world to me. So this has been a lot of hard lessons for this person. I also feel like they have been glowing up and growing up in many ways. They have had to really learn how to be a better person. I'm hearing be a better man, and I'm hearing, you know, it could be better woman as well. Just most of my viewers are women, 90%. So most of the time it's men, you know, that the phrase would come through applying to. So this person is trying to be a better man or woman, but they, I feel like, had to go through a lot of growth and learning to make that happen. And they had to really go down deep inside and go through some hardship. And I don't feel like it's fully over. I feel like they're still having to grow. And this connection has taught them a lot, but honestly, I feel like there's still some immaturity in them that's like hesitant to fully humble themselves and admit it. And so they might just be faced with a lot more kind of trauma from life until they're fully willing to, you know, put their guard down and admit and yield and give into admitting how deep this love was. Because I am feeling like I'm getting a almost like Pablo Neruda vibe. And I'm thinking of that line from a poem where he says, I loved you for loving is so short, but forgetting is so long. It's such a beautiful line. And I think I butchered that as well. But you get the point and the drift, which is, you know, this person, you guys might have even been together for just a short amount of time, but their feelings are still so deep and so there. And that might be why they were like, oh, I'm going to move on quick. We dated for like 2 weeks, so it'll be fine. But, you know, time doesn't matter on the other side, especially when compared to the depth of a connection. So I feel like this person just, you know, there's a lot of being honest with themselves that they're going to have to do. I don't think this person really likes a lot of deep honesty. Sometimes with someone who has a lot of Libra, it can make them kind of resistant to being fully honest, because Libra doesn't like harsh things. You know, it's not Scorpio, it's not Pluto, it's Venus. It likes like pretty and nice and beautiful. And that's what we love about Libra energy. It's so beautiful. But sometimes when it comes to the deep, harsh truth that needs to be said, they're not the ones who are going to like want to go that deep. They're like, oh, what is the point of this? But you know, that's why we need both. And that's why they're next to each other on the zodiac wheel. They're kind of clashing. And I feel like when it came time to be very brutally honest with themselves, you know, they weren't so good at that. But Spirit is going to bring out those truths, whether they like it or not. But yes, they think about you quite a lot. And I feel like as time inches on, it's instead of their emotions going away, it's getting harder and harder for them to deny how much they feel about you. It's getting harder and harder for them to ignore how intensely they cared about you. Oh my God. And as I'm saying it, I love we did the live shuffle, the Two of Cups. Exactly. And it's funny because at the beginning, we didn't see as much of that. But when it really was like the ending time, they finally had to admit Two of Cups energy. Yeah, they definitely are feeling suffered. They're suffering because they're removed from you. You know, they're suffering because they're kind of finally admitting that this is an ending. We got the Sun reversed, the High Priestess reversed. You might have blocked them on the astral plane. And then we have the Death card. And so it's like and that's upright. And so a lot of major arcana, by the way. So this is a very deep, intense connection for them, but also they're finally, I think, in a place where they can admit how much they lost. And if you needed any confirmation, they're still so attracted to you. Your physicality, your physical beauty is something that means a lot to them. So I feel like they almost hate how beautiful you are, because a lot of you guys are just stunning and they wish that it wasn't the case, so they didn't have to feel so tempted or so upset by seeing all your physical beauty. And I feel like also a lot of you guys live a life of joy, happiness, doing what you want to do, and that gives you this inner glow. And this person is just, I think, finally admitting to themselves like, yeah, I really messed this up. So this is an exciting time for them. Maybe they'll finally be willing to accept it, admit it, and maybe, you know, who knows, maybe step forward with some honesty towards you. But I don't know. It feels like that would be a big step for this person, because I don't think they're used to being super honest about their emotions. But we'd love to see it if that does happen, right? Anyways, guys, let me know how it resonated. I would love to know from you guys how this affected you, or whether you think, I mean, this has to be a past ex, right? It can't be like a future soulmate, at least let's hope not. But let me know how this was for you, if it was like an ex or what the situation is. Let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where you will get access to all my additional readings. I just posted a love message from your future spouse, so that one might be kind of nice to watch, because this is all about an ex, so it might be like nice to talk to the future person. And so if you guys want to watch that, head to my Patreon, and then as soon as you sign up, you get access to everything: life, love, relocation, career, spirituality, money, so many different topics. And join our little tribe. We also vote on new topics, suggest new topics. So there's a lot to do over on Patreon, and I hope you'll join us. A link for that is underneath the timestamps in the description and in my bio as well. Is that what it's called? Oh yeah, actually the description and the timestamps anyway. And if you guys want to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. The link for that is also in my description. And you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me, have me pull tarot, do astrology for you, or just channel for you. You get to decide. So if you would like to get that, like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I would love to do a reading for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked these lychee, this is going to be your reading. So this is a little piece of the lychee plant, and they did a lot of detail on this with all the little hairs sticking up. So much detail on the coloring. It really looks super realistic and delicious. But anyways, guys, let's get into your cards. You guys got the 5 of Cups, the Moon reversed, 4 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. So your person, it feels like they are processing possibly an ending or a separation, and honestly it feels like they are looking at this situation, and I'm hearing why. I feel like this person doesn't understand what has happened, and in their mind they keep like replaying certain things over and over because they're trying to come to some kind of understanding. But this is not an ending or a separation they're happy about, and I feel like there's almost a sense of like can't move on. I just heard the song Right Where You Left Me by Taylor Swift, and that song is all about someone who is kind of stuck in the past and replaying certain memories, and I feel like that's what's going on with this person. They keep thinking about you, and they keep hoping that they're going to finally realize why things had to end, or it's all going to make sense, or the feelings are going to magically go away, but it feels like that's just not happening for them. I'm also hearing a line that kind of came through in pile 1 as well, but it's coming through right away with you guys from Pablo Neruda, where he says, loving is so short, but remembering so long. And I feel like that's the vibe almost with this person, is like, they're like, I don't understand why I'm still so hung up, or I don't understand why I dream of this person. I don't understand why I'm not able to move past this. And they might be perceiving that you've moved on already, or that you are having a very easy time of it. But I feel like this person is just stuck in a lot of confusion and a lot of back and forth for themselves, trying to figure this out, trying to go back and forth and get some understanding out of all of it. Let me get some song cards to start out this reading with a little bit of a vibe. Spirit, please give me song cards for pile 2. Feels Like Heaven, Ariel Pink. Harvest Moon, Neil Young, Rosalind, Bon Iver, and St. Vincent. Blue Ain't Your Color, Keith Urban. Latch, Disclosure. Okay. Shades of Cool, Lana Del Rey. I feel like this person really looks back on the time you guys spent together. Like, I feel like there's some kind of memory that this person has of you that just replays so strongly in their mind. Almost like an afternoon you guys might have spent together driving around, or like some kind of conversation you guys had, or meeting up with you in the sunlight hitting your face just in a certain way, or a joke you guys would tell. But there's something like super nostalgic coming through, some kind of like replayed memory that it's almost like time stopped. And I keep seeing someone pressing rewind, almost like if you've ever watched a movie or TV show and for some reason you really like a certain scene, or maybe you felt like you didn't process the scene completely, or you want to replay it for whatever reason, and you keep pressing back, or like a YouTube video, like, you know, and there's some like quick moment and you're like, wait, I didn't quite catch that, and you just keep replaying. That's what I feel like this person is doing, but it's like with you. And I feel like a lot of it is them searching for clarity with you, trying to make sense of it, trying to get some kind of understanding, and really thinking that they will be able to like have the closure. And it's funny, we got disclosure coming through, and I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't gotten that song in these readings before, but I feel like that's what they kind of want, is like a disclosure that gives them closure. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's a pun I just made up, but like some kind of understanding or some kind of bit of information that they can get that will finally allow them to mentally move on and understand things. There may have been a real sense when they first met you that you guys were going to be together for a really long time, so they're just, it feels like a shock to their system. And I am hearing that song by Tegan and Sarah, Shock to Your System. Like, I feel like they just never quite expected that you guys wouldn't be in a good place or wouldn't be like talking or in communication. Let me see what else we're gonna get. So we just got the Knight of Swords. Gotta shuffle around these huge lychee. Let me just move it a little bit. Let's see what cards we want to get. How is Pile 2's person feeling? We got the Hermit, okay. There might be, for some of them, a little bit of a sense, if you guys are single, there might be a sense of kind of hurt or like, oh, okay, so I'm not good enough. You'd rather be single than be with me. Oh, so like you don't even, like, you're not even with someone else and that's the reason why we're not together, but like you're just literally choosing to be alone. There might be a little bit of hurt with that, like almost like I could understand or it would make sense to me if you were with someone new, but you're literally choosing to be by yourself. So like like that's almost an insult to this person. Like I feel like in a way they would almost rather see you with someone else so they could be like, well, you know, at least I understand that they moved on with someone and maybe this person is like a lot of fun to be around or they want to be in a relationship for whatever reason. But with you, I feel like it's almost like I can't believe this person is choosing to be alone or by themselves and instead of being with me. Also, it could be their energy is the Hermit and they're just wondering why they've been alone or why they are not with you and why they haven't found a person. But I feel like a lot of it might be kind of perceiving you as the Hermit because I'm getting kind of an independent energy from you guys, Pile 2. It feels like a lot of you guys are very self-reliant, self-resourceful, and like you guys just basically, you know, you don't need, it feels like this person was like more emotionally needy than you were, or at least that's how they perceive it, is like, I was this little baby and Pile 2 is so strong. Pile 2 is so resourceful. Pile 2 does what Pile 2 wants. And here I am like this pathetic loser in comparison. Like, I feel like there's that energy of, you know, here I am and I would like cry every night about Pile 2, and Pile 2 seems like they just literally couldn't give, you know, or whatever. They just seem like they are good, thriving, just minding their biz. I feel like some of you guys also just keep to yourselves. Like you might not even be posting photos of yourself thriving, so to speak, as in like you're not posting like beach pics and like vacation pics, and you're not like even trying to rub their nose in it in social media. But there is this perception that you're very self-reliant, you're very okay with yourself, and you're like, you're doing good. And I feel like this person is a little offended by that, honestly. They perceive you as a little bit cold, but not in a bad way, but just like, you know, and I am hearing that song by Ava Max, Cold as Ice. And she says, I'm cold as ice, don't stay around for too long, I'm gone, cold as ice. And that's kind of what, I love that song, by the way. It's new and it's really good. But I feel like that's kind of you guys, or at least how they perceive you as, is like, they're so cold, they don't even care, they broke my heart and then they left me in the dust. Like, I honestly feel like this 5 of Cups, 8 of Cups energy might be them. Maybe they're very watery in their chart, or they might have like a water ascendant, or maybe outwardly project that they are emotional or sensitive. Could have like a Libra ascendant too. And maybe you guys might have a little bit more toughness in your astrology chart, maybe something like some earth or some air. It could be like a Capricorn or an Aquarius or those Saturn ruled signs, where I feel like you're not as emotional, and it might even have a hard time for you to enter your emotions sometimes. Or you might have something like an Aquarius ascendant or a Capricorn ascendant or something, but it's almost like, I feel like you're just not the type to start crying in public or to let everyone know that you're like sad and soft, and you might do that in private. You might have some like water in your chart, but it's more hidden. It's not out in the open as much. Like, it's not on your ascendant. It could even be your sun or your moon. Ascendant is really how you greet the world. And you might also have a harsher like Mercury as well, because I feel like you're just not gonna like come to this person and like, you know, be as like performatively sad the way they are. And I'm not saying they're performatively sad. I'm just saying like you're the type to like keep your feelings, it feels like a little bit more private to yourself. Whereas I feel like this person, like they really feel like, okay, so that's how Pile 2 is. Pile 2 doesn't care. Pile 2 doesn't give. Oops, I had to refilm this because I did curse. I always try not to curse on these. I curse on Patreon, but not here. But I was saying don't give whatever, you know? So I feel like this person does feel like, oh, they don't care. They never cared. Look at me. I'm all sad and I look like this total loser. And Pile 2 is just like I said, cold as ice. Like they might even say something like, oh, Pile 2 used me or something like that, or Pile 2 was faking. um, I feel like they feel very baffled by everything. Like I feel like a lot of you guys, you didn't let anyone see you sweat, and you didn't let them see you crying and sobbing. You didn't let them see you making a fool of yourself about this. Not that it's a fool to be upset. You know, I'm a water sign myself. I'm Pisces, Cancer, Pisces and Cancer moon. So I'm not bashing the water signs, and it's not a foolish thing to cry, but I do feel like you guys have a lot of dignity in you, and you know, you just were like, okay, that's for private. That's not something I'm going to like show the world. It's like over emotional posting all over social media. And it's almost like I feel like this person had some kind of expectation that you would. Sometimes I feel like people just expect that of women in general, you know, because women were supposed to be the more emotional ones. I don't know how true that is given, you know, world events, but that's what that's what the stereotype is. And maybe this person, you know, and men are supposed to be stoic and unemotional. Again, I definitely don't know how true that is. But the thing is, maybe this person was thinking of stereotypes like that, and they thought like, oh, like the woman has to be the one who's crying and sobbing, and I have to be the tough one. And so maybe because you were more tough, they just are like thrown for a total loop, and they're like, wait, so she must not care at all, because I was expecting her to be like heartbroken. Not only is she not heartbroken, she doesn't seem like she cares. And so that must mean, especially since she's a girl or something like that. Of course, not everyone has to be a girl in this reading, but I just feel like there was some expectation for some reason that you guys were going to be really devastated. And when you weren't, now this person is like taking from that you never cared whatsoever. Let's get like 2 more cards. Spirit, please give me 2 more cards. What's going on with Pile 2's person? What are they thinking? Okay, so we got 3 cards. 3 of Cups. Yeah, they might be perceiving that you guys are going out and partying out on the town. We got the Hierophant, 8 of Pentacles. They also might be perceiving that you have another person that you're dating. But it's like almost like you're very in control of everything is what I'm feeling like. Like it doesn't feel that serious to me. Again, I keep hearing cold as ice in my mind, and I keep feeling like you guys give off the vibe to this person that you're just like, almost like, I don't want to say evil witch, but that's what's coming to my mind. Maybe this person got really mad and said that at some time, but I don't really think they think that. I think at all. I'm just feeling like it's like they see you as so powerful. You know the phrase witch, it's very loaded, obviously, in the tarot community, because a lot of people just think we're all like witches, and in a way maybe we are. It's just we have a weird view of it in society. But you know, a witch ultimately is like kind of an empowered feminine energy, right? And so I feel like in a way they see you as so empowered, they see you as so strong, they see you as so tough, they see you as like, you know, maybe they expected you to be sitting in a puddle of your own tears and crying, and instead that ended up being them. So I feel like because of that, they just don't really know where you stand and where they stand with you, because they've been crying and they've been really upset. I honestly feel like, you know, this person might be like sitting around watching The Notebook on a loop. And again, this could be a man or a woman in this energy. Totally could be, if you're watching Asking About a Woman, could apply to her. If you're a guy, it could apply to you, like whatever. But the point is, I feel like, you know, sometimes I'm like, who would have this expectation that someone will be so emotional? A lot of times it would be the expectation a guy would have of a girl, you know, but it could be totally flipped as well. But I was just thinking about, I mentioned this before, I feel like guys love the movie The Notebook. That's my theory, because I have never really had a girlfriend who loves The Notebook, but I have seen guys who like talk about it. And because all this drama was happening with Vanderpump Rules lately, I was like, okay, I need to see what's happening. So I finally watched this past season, even though it's like 4 episodes, even though I haven't watched it in years, because I'm psychic and I always knew those guys were really toxic and I just couldn't deal with it. But I finally watched it, and one of the guys was crying when his wife divorced him because he saw The Notebook on TV. And I was like, oh my God, this always, I swear, like this is a thing. It always happens. It's always guys watching The Notebook and crying. They love that movie for some reason. They never want to admit it. They always blame it on us and say like, oh, my girlfriend loves The Notebook. Well, you watch that every Saturday. But it's like, it's you guys who are doing it. And anyway, my point is this is the kind of like guy that I feel like he would be sitting around watching The Notebook. He'd be sitting around crying. He'd be sitting around like reminiscing. Like, it's funny because I feel like that's the thing. Guys don't like talking about this, and they will totally blame it on us or blame it on their girlfriend or be like, yeah, my girlfriend made us go see this romantic movie. Yeah, I'm not into that. But what are you guys doing? I don't know, because I keep seeing these men sobbing, talking about how they were sobbing watching The Notebook, and this man was literally sobbing, like literally still, even talking about watching The Notebook, he was crying. If anyone watches that show, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm laughing because honestly, it's just like, if you watch the show, I just think those guys are so toxic. I don't even know if I believe, like, it's just the whole thing. I don't feel like they're stand-up guys. So yeah, it's a little bit funny to me. But the thing is, I feel like this person, not to get on that tangent, but I do feel like this person, spends time alone regretting or thinking about your feelings, wondering why they're so upset, wondering why they can't get over things, wondering why you seem to be thriving and doing well. And they might have even had an expectation that when they left you, you were going to be crying and upset. And instead, I feel like you're doing good, you look good, and you guys just seem very independent to me. Let me pull from this deck. Let's see what other cards we can get. We got The Ship Has Sails, and this one says Becoming Nobody. And honestly, I feel like that's a lot of your vibe. Like, to me, you feel very private. You feel like you don't let a lot of people in and like don't tell your business to everyone. And I feel like that just makes this person more and more curious about you. Like, they just want to know more. They just want to they feel like they don't have access to you in the same way they did. Maybe you blocked them on the astral plane, or possibly you just aren't posting any of your business online. You might like even have like deleted your Instagram or deleted Facebook or never had Facebook, or like not even have, no LinkedIn or something like that. But this person, I feel like they try to find out about what you're doing. Or it might be that like you guys don't have any mutual friends in common, so they can't ask anyone about you. Or it could be that when they ask mutual friends about you, they're like, oh yeah, like, well, she's good, I don't know, like, she doesn't tell me that much, or she asked me not to talk to you. But it almost feels like this person wants to get information about you, but they can't find out anything. And then, of course, with The Ship Has Sailed, they're thinking that, like, this is basically over and that they don't have a shot with you. They don't have a chance with you. In touch with your body. So you guys might be looking really good with your body right now. They might be very attracted to your physical form of your body, especially, and just think that you look absolutely stunning. And then we got Queen of Everything and Be Authentic. So I feel like there's a lot of honesty that you have that this person really respects. It's almost like you're more comfortable being honest with yourself and with others about yourself than this person is. And I feel like that's sometimes where you really inspire them, because it's almost like, wow, like pile 2 is just so honest, and they just live their life for truth, and they don't really care what others think. You might be someone who, like I said, you're not trying to flex on the gram of like, I'm going to the beach and I'm at this cool party and I'm going on this vacation place and oh my God, I'm having the craziest Friday. Like, I feel like you just don't care. You're like, you can think I'm lame, you can think I'm whatever, but like, I genuinely don't care what anyone thinks of me. And that's not a faking, that's like real. So I feel like this person, they kind of are intimidated by you. And for them, they might be a little bit more insecure than you, and they might crave the acceptance of others and feel the need to like show off a little bit more. And deep down, they really respect the fact that you guys are just like, I'm not even, no, I don't need to. I'll post what I want, when I want, with who I want, and that's it. But they might feel like you're a little bit cold or a little bit closed off, to be honest, and that you know your worth. That's one thing I'm getting. Like, it feels like you almost like I'm hearing, stop wasting my time. So I don't know if someone might have told this person that, but I feel like you guys just aren't going to tolerate like time wasting behaviors. Like if someone asks you out on a date, they need to be coming correct. They need to be setting up the plans. They need to be not like, because, oh my God, isn't it so annoying when someone asks you on a date, but you're like what? And they're like, well, hanging out. And it's like, what? What does that even mean? You know what I mean? I feel like you would be like, no thanks, if someone asks you that, and like they would need to have something set up that was good, a restaurant in mind, not just like hanging out aimlessly. So I feel like that's your vibe, is like you have a higher standard that they kind of need to live up to. Let's look at these cards. What are they thinking? What are they thinking, Spirit? What is pile two's person thinking? The Dream Walker. So you guys definitely might connect while dreaming. We also got the Four of Swords. So again, you might connect in your dreams. I wouldn't be surprised if this person has like Pisces placements. I could see Cancer or Scorpio for sure. Any water sign. I could see Libra as well. The Hungry Ghost. I could see Leo too. The Hungry Ghost. Dream Walker, the Ice Queen. Oh my God, that is crazy, because I keep saying cold as ice and I keep hearing that in my mind, and I literally quoted that song and we got the Ice Queen. That's exactly how they see you. As I keep saying, they see you as a little bit cold. I feel like it's one of those things where I don't want you guys to ever think I'm like saying like, oh, you are cold. I'm just saying sometimes we make up narratives in our mind to make ourselves feel better about a situation. We don't want to be like, oh, how was your ex? Oh, well, he was perfect. He was amazing. He was like a dream. And yeah, I feel like such an idiot. I broke up with him. Like, so instead we say something like, oh, like, no, he's not that great. He's kind of, well, he's really irresponsible. You know what I mean? We have to come up with something to make ourselves feel better. And I feel like this person would say you're cold, or you're an ice queen, or you're untouchable in a bad way. We also got the Well Watcher, Wisdom, Power of the Divine, and Gaia's Garden. So I definitely feel like you guys connect in the dream space on the astral realm while you guys are sleeping. You guys definitely meet up there and kind of hang out while you guys are asleep and dreaming. And it feels like you might like have blocked them, like I said, on the astral, or excuse me, on the physical plane. You might have even blocked them on Instagram, or never followed them, or done some kind of blocking or drawing of a line with them, some boundaries. Like I said, ask your friends not to tell them anything about you or something like that, because it almost feels like this person is saying, this is the only place I have access to them anymore, is in our dreams, in our dream space when we're asleep. That's like I connect with them that way. So if you've been having vivid dreams of this person, that's why. They might even set that as an intention towards you before they go to sleep. But we also got the Hungry Ghost obsession. So this person really might be kind of obsessive about you. I do feel like they think of you a lot. And in a way, I feel like you were kind of a role model for them. They might have started making changes to their life once they were around you. Like if you're very, creative or intellectual, they might have started reading books more, or if you like to do math and you're smart in that way, maybe they started getting into like STEM subjects and learned to code. Or if you like are into spirituality, which you might be watching this, maybe they started learning astrology. But I feel like there's something they learned from you. I feel like there's something that they took away from your time together that really inspired them to move into a certain direction. And that's why they look up to you. They really respect you guys. They respect how you're living your life, how you take care of yourself, and how you guys, it feels like some of you guys might even be older than this person, because I honestly feel like they revere you. They admire you. It's not just like pure attraction and just, I don't really care about pile two, but they're hot. It's like, wow, I respect him as a person. I look up to them. I think what they're doing is amazing and really admirable. Um, yeah, that's the energy. Let me get some of the astro dice. Spirit, please give me astro dice for pile 2 and their person. What energies you want to have come through? We got the 11th house, Aquarius. Okay, we got Virgo and we got Venus. So like I was saying, very strong Aquarian energy, Saturnian energy, definitely picking up on that. That might be your energy, and a lot of people have a hard time understanding Aquarian energy because it is ruled by Uranus, which is a very unpredictable, kind of unknowable planet. And it can be very cold and it can be very harsh because its ancient ruler is Saturn as well. So I feel like it might be that you have heavy Saturn or heavy, yeah, it could be Saturn, but heavy Aquarian energy or Capricorn energy in your chart where you're like not going to be the one who's openly sobbing and doing an Instagram live where you like, cry into like a bowl of ice cream, and stream it out to your friends. You might be the type who's a lot more private, a lot more stoic, and just like, okay, well, I'm moving on. And I always think when it comes to those energies, people have a really hard time understanding that, like, Aquarius and Capricorn, it's not that they're unemotional, but it's that they have a little bit more dignity and they also don't really see the point in like getting super upset. I know I have a Capricorn Mars, and whenever I get upset about something, I'm just like, okay, so if it's like something I have to do, like it's like a stressful situation, I'm always like, all right, let me just, okay, so I'm going to deal with it by this. And I've had so many people get upset and be like, you're not taking it seriously, or like, don't you realize this situation is serious? And it's like, yeah, I do. And that's why I'm trying to fix it and not having like, what do you want me to do? Go sob into a pillow? How will that help? And I feel like that's the thing about a lot of Capricorn Aquarius, like dominant people, is it can be perceived as just real coldness when it's like, this is what we got to do. And when you have Saturn beating down your neck, which you do if you are a Capricorn or an Aquarius dominant person, and Saturn like repeatedly kind of kicking your butt throughout your life, which it will if you have Saturn or excuse me, Capricorn or Aquarius, then that means you have to be on your A game, and you don't have time to go like cry in your room and be all upset because you've got to get things handled. And so I feel like that's the thing with this person. They might take your coldness as like, okay, so pile 2 doesn't care at all. Pile 2 was just not interested in me, never had any emotions, when that's not the case, but that's how they are perceiving it. We also got Virgo. I could see you guys having heavy Virgo energy as well. Again, Virgo can be a perfectionist, and people also can really misperceive Virgo a lot, and they see the perfectionism as Virgo as like, oh, so you don't think you're better than me, you want to change me, you don't think I'm good enough. But Virgo's role is to be like kind of a fixer and to be a perfectionist. They are about purity and spirit or physical purification. So when it comes to Virgo, it's their job to kind of like correct a spelling error. It's their job to tell someone what they should fix to have better digestion in their diet, or it's their job to come in and slightly tweak something. And so sometimes, again, people can take this as like, oh, this person's really cold, they don't care, they have no emotions, when it's not the case. And actually earth signs have very intense, long-lasting emotions. They're not necessarily the most emotional because they're not going to let their emotions get run away with them like a water sign does, but that doesn't mean they don't have them. And earth sign is also very long lasting. It's very permanent. So I think people sometimes discount the feelings that people might have within those signs because they're not as visible, And then we have Venus. So this person definitely had strong feelings and emotions towards you. And I think that for them, it's like they never got the closure they really wanted. They never got. And I'm also hearing Closer by Tegan and Sarah. So it could be that they, I think they've come through twice in this reading. So maybe someone is a Tegan and Sarah fan or something. But I think some of you guys they might not have ever gotten to be super close to you. They might not have even gotten to know you that well or to have physical anything with you. And so maybe for them, it's like that's why they kind of feel like you're cold, is because they never got to see really your deep emotions. You guys might not have ever reached that stage in the relationship where you were like gonna tell them all your feelings or anything like that. Let's end the reading with some additional cards for pile 2. We got friendship. What does this say? Family. Wow. So they might see you as like soul tribe, so soul family. Let's see. Fertility. Oh my God. Like I was saying, they really might have wanted to make a family with you. And travel. So I feel like they do astral travel, astral project to talk to you. But they really thought, like, I feel like in a way it makes sense, because I feel like this person feels like you would be like family to them, or feels like you could have been family, like y'all could have fit together in that way, to be that close, to make a family, or to that you were such a good fit. I feel like it is because they respect you so much, you know, like they feel like you would make an excellent mom or an excellent caretaker, or you would be the kind of person who you know, would just be like an excellent partner, because you are so competent. I think that's something like both genders look for in a partner, is competence, right? Someone who can just handle things, get it done, who's not going to be kind of like a clown in a stressful situation and just stand there shocked and not know what to do. Like, I feel like you guys, someone could come to you in the clutch or when they were stressed or nervous about something, and you would take care of it. You would be supportive and loving and also like firm and intelligent about it. You know, that's what we love about Virgo energy, is how smart and intelligent and wise they are. And so I feel like, and Capricorn of course as well. And so I feel like this person looks back and they're like, gosh, like I wish I could say that pile 2 is some irresponsible idiot, or that I'm better off without them, but I know that's not true. I know pile 2 is going to have this amazing life and has so much success energy around them, and I wish I could still have access to them. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you guys. Pile 2, let me know how it resonates in the comments. I'm curious about this. So what was this vibe for you guys? Because a lot of interesting stuff came through. I would love to know your thoughts about it. If this was the vibe of your person, if you were a little older than them or energetically felt that way, let me know. And make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, you guys, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you would like to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one that's messages from your future spouse. So given that this is someone from your past, you might want to check that one out to focus a little bit more on your future. And we also have so many other readings, over 45, I think, around that. I think I need to go specifically count, but around that for sure. 45 additional readings about life, love, spirituality, and so many different topics. And we post new readings all the time. We vote on new readings and let you suggest new readings. So there's a lot for you guys, a lot of content over there about so many different subjects, like everything: money, relocation, career, love, 18 plus readings, so much to choose from. So I hope you'll join us over on Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description as well. And if you guys would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me and have me pull tarot for you, channel mediumship, or just channel intuitively, or do your astrology. You get to decide how it goes. But anyways, guys, I hope you'll get that, and that is at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this tropical fruit, this is going to be your reading. This looks super realistic, although I really have no idea what it is, but it looks really good. It's got 5 different sections and a really thick stem. So if you know what this could be, then definitely drop it in the comments. But it looks tropical and delicious. Let's get into your cards though. So you guys got the 10 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, and the High Priestess. So the first thing I'm hearing in my mind right now is the song Better Now Now by Post Malone. So I almost feel like this person might be a little bit vengeful, or they might be feeling like they have worked hard to improve themselves since they met you or knew you. And there might be almost a sense of like, I can't believe I'm not in your life anymore, or anger that, you know, maybe they felt like, oh, I wasn't good enough for you, so I'm going to make myself as good as I can be, that kind of a thing. Or it could be that you've improved and glowed up. We'll get into more of it in the reading, but it might be that you have been on some kind of self-improvement thing, and they can tell this kind of path and track that you're on, and they're like observing it. But I do feel like there's an aspect of, you know, that whole song Better Now is about, I've made myself technically better now, and I probably tell everyone I'm better now, but technically everyone knows that I'm not. Everyone knows that even if things look better on paper for me, that I'm kind of miserable without you. And that's like the lyrics. It's like, you probably say that you're better now, you only say that because I'm not around. You know, I feel like there's an element here where this person might be even coping to themselves. They might even be telling themselves this. They might be saying like, oh, I'm way better off. I'm way happier now. I don't even miss pile 3 at all. In fact, like, I'm relieved I don't have to talk to them. But really deep down, they're looking at your pictures, checking your Instagram, maybe checking your TikTok or whatever. But I feel like this person definitely misses you, and they're at the same time really not wanting to be honest or go there emotionally. So there's kind of a dual energy here with like their actual emotions and then what they would tell someone, or this little block they have up with trying to seem cool, trying to seem like they're over it and they don't care and they don't really have strong feelings. But then of course the real feelings getting in the way. So I also want to pull some cards for the songs. So Spirit, please give us some song cards for pile 3. We got Trip to Your Heart, Britney Spears. What did these two come out? We got Blue Ain't Your Color, Keith Urban. Latch, Disclosure, Always Be My Baby, Mariah Carey. Radar, Britney Spears. That one's really interesting to me and really sticking out to me because I feel like this person is almost like you're on their radar, even though they would act like they're not noticing you. They probably would like not be following you on Instagram, but they would check your photos from like a burner account, or they would, you know, do like that, go to a website where they can download your stories because they don't want to see you checking, or they wouldn't like any of your content, but you can see them watching. Or they might randomly start going to the places you go, or that, you know, they might run into you there, but they're trying very hard to not let people know that they're thinking of you and not let them know that they miss you or they'd like to be with you. There's a strong element of this person like wanting people to, I feel like, see them as cool or a success, or worrying about how they look in other people's eyes. And I feel like a big part of this is why they're not wanting to be fully honest with you, because the truth is they do have these deep emotions. We got All of Me Wants All of You by Sufjan Stevens. So I do feel like it's a very deep feeling of connection and being drawn to you. And I do think it's, oh, look at these. Okay, that's too many. But I do feel like a big part of it is holding that back because they don't want others to judge them. We got Fields of Gold by Sting and Moi Jeju by Bridget Bardot, excuse me. I feel like a lot of you guys are really fun. That's something that's coming to my mind right now, is like this person would really love to go on vacation with you or travel with you, because I feel like you guys together, it's almost, it could be like little kids at times. Like you guys just laugh together, or you have the same sense of humor, or you're kind of mischievous together, or they might just see you that way. Maybe they're more serious, but you bring out that side of them, or you're just so much that way that it's fun for them to be around regardless. But I do feel like this person thinks about like taking you on a trip somewhere. Also, I'm hearing they would really love to see you in like a bikini or a bathing suit. They really love the look of your body. But I do feel like a big part of this is kind of, you know, wanting to get you away from the current situation you're in. I don't know if this person, because it does feel like they're worrying a lot about what others think. So maybe for some of you guys, even in this pile, you could have like interlopers that, you know, want to keep you guys apart. Maybe it could even be some of these person's friends or your friends or a family member, but there might have been someone who was like, I don't think those people are good together. Or maybe just this idea that others will judge you. Like maybe it's like you come from two different social social groups or two different cultural groups, or people just are like, oh, why would you be hanging out with pile 2, or why would pile 2 be hanging out with you? You know, like there's some reason why I feel like this person almost wants to keep it on the DL. Maybe they could be hiding something. We did get the 5 of Swords, but it could just be like, I do feel like for some reason they're worrying about what others have to say. They're worrying about other people's reactions to this. It could have been that you broke their heart, you know, and when they were telling their friends about like, yeah, pile 2 or pile 3 ended things, you know, they broke up with me, and their friends know how upset they were, and now their friends are like, man, don't ever talk to her again, you know, she's trash or something, because they know that you broke their heart. It could be something like that. I don't know, but I almost feel like this person fears about what other people would say and think. They might have been acting for a long time like they were like too cool for school, too cool to talk to you, or like not even cool, too cool to talk to you, but like cool as in like unbothered, I guess. Like I don't even think about pile 3. I'm over it now. I almost feel like that might have come about because there was a time when they were thinking and talking about you all the time, and maybe their friends were like, man, like you have not stopped talking about pile 3. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like we've been talking about her all night, and like this is crazy. You need to shut up. And maybe this person got self-conscious about it, or maybe it could have been in a good way, like they were really into you and they kept talking about you, and they were talking about, you know, the cute things you did, and their friends were like, okay, this is cringe. But I feel like there's some reason why they're afraid of like judgment from people, and that might have been a reason why this didn't work out, because I feel like pile 3, they're almost bringing up the word simp, although it could have been, you know, whether they're male or female, they could have been afraid of looking like a simp or looking like a clown, looking like, now I'm hearing that song by Ice Spice where she talks about like a munch, you know. I feel like maybe there's a sense of that, like this person being afraid that they would kind of get clowned on, or have people be like, oh, that's you're wow, like you're a doormat for this person, whether they're a man or a woman. You know, they could have had friends that were like, oh, like you need to get some self-respect because this is crazy. But I feel like a lot of it is because they're so drawn to you. I'm hearing they're fascinated by you, and they just showed me a butterfly, and specifically they showed me the image of like that meme where that guy is holding a butterfly and he's just like, oh, does this mean this? But there's a little butterfly that he's kind of staring at in his hand, and I almost feel like that look on their face is the look that your person has towards you, of like just fascination and just delight, like a beautiful butterfly flying by, that they're just like, oh my gosh, who is this little angel creature? And so I don't know, I feel like almost sometimes people can get suspicious when someone feels that deeply. It can make people mad or jealous, because some people don't even really ever experience like a deep love, so they might be like, what is happening here? And they might have a negative reaction to it. But let's get some more cards. I'm going to do a live shuffle. Spirit, please give us guidance for pile 3. We want to know what their person is feeling, thinking, what their person is thinking and feeling. Judgment. I'm telling you, they're very afraid of the judgment of others. And if they did go about this where they would meet you, they would want to like keep it completely secret from everyone. But I don't think it's because like they're embarrassed or ashamed of you. I think it's because, I don't know, there's some interfering energy. Like it's not like they're like, oh god, pile 2 is so embarrassing, I don't want to be seen with this person. There may be other factors outside of it. It may be they have a really strict family and they're like, I don't know, not allowed to date for some reason, or not allowed to date someone who's a different religion or whatever. Who knows? You know, sometimes you have families with those rules. Or it could be that they have a friend group that would be like, oh my, you're going back to pile 2 again? This is ridiculous, and be annoyed with them. Or it could be a million reasons. It could even be something that has to do with their career, like they don't want to jeopardize their career, or there's some kind of a workplace issue. I don't know. But I do feel like it's almost like it's not that pile 2 thinks there's something wrong with you, but I feel like they just are worried about the perception of others and what other people would have to say. But I do feel like they crave being alone with you, and that's probably why they're fantasizing about going on vacation with you and taking you somewhere really lovely where you guys can just be alone, is because it's almost like, okay, we don't have to worry so much about running into this person at a coffee shop, or, you know, having a friend of mine see us at this restaurant, or anything like that, we can just, or having a workplace coworker or something like that see us and report back to HR. I mean, I don't know what this is that they're afraid of, but I do feel like they would love to get you alone. And I also feel like this person, you know, it's almost like, it's funny, I feel like they have a lot of walls up with the world, and you are one of the only people that they could really let their wall down with and talk to honestly and openly to. And I feel like that's another thing they really want to do with you on vacation, is just to be able to like talk with you and open up and just, you know, be honest and just like have these deep conversations. I'm hearing this person is fascinated by your eyes. I don't know if you guys have some like sparkles or gold dust in your eyes. I'm seeing kind of specks of gold, but you know, it could be a different color as well. But I feel like they think you have really gorgeous eyes, and also your mouth, the way it moves. I feel like they find that very beautiful as well. And I feel like they could just listen to you talk. They could just conversate with you for hours and just listen to your perspective on different things. They just love to get your opinion. They just would love to be able to be alone with you. Like I said, it would be such a relief to let their guard down, because I feel like they can really feel comfortable with you. They really feel like they can be honest with you in a way that I think is so rare for them. Like they don't feel this way with like hardly anyone else. So I feel like in a way, the relationship you guys had with them was a bit of an awakening for them as well. Like they started opening up and realizing like, huh, this is a different facet of my personality I wasn't aware of. I didn't know that I was playful like pile 3 is until they brought that side of me out. Or I didn't realize I was like way protective until someone spoke to pile 3 rudely and it made me enraged. Or I didn't realize I was really curious about like geckos until pile 3 brought it up and they're obsessed with geckos, and I actually am the same. Or maybe just a feeling of like, I knew I was obsessed with geckos, but I didn't know I would find anyone else who was also into it, and now I found this other weirdo like me who loves this. And that can be how a twin flame soulmate connection often feels, is like, oh my God, we're into the same thing. This is crazy. How do we have this in common? How do we have so much in common? So yeah, I think there's just a sense almost of like coming home when it came to you, but then also a feeling of temptation, or a feeling like, I shouldn't be doing this, you know, this is not, I feel like in a way pile 3's person, your person, always thinks of that anyway. Like maybe they're with another partner or something. That could be a big reason why they're trying to hide this. So I can't believe I didn't think of that earlier. But it's a feeling also of like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I shouldn't even be thinking of pile 3. I know they shouldn't be on my radar, but they are super strong, and I'm literally like impossible to not think of them. I feel like it's almost a compulsion for them. Like they might find themselves refreshing your Instagram over and over throughout the day just to see if you put up a new story, or if you haven't posted in months, they still check your Instagram every day, and then they're like, why am I doing this? Is so embarrassing and dumb. And then they go and delete your Instagram from their like history, you know, so that no one can see that they were clicking on your page. You know, they might visit like your LinkedIn from like a random account, or you might be like, who is this weird person that doesn't have a profile picture, who's always watching my stories, or who has a pretty fake looking profile picture? And I feel like that might be this person, because I feel like they have a little bit of shame with, why am I so fascinated? Why am I, like, they might even think that they're a little bit of a creep with how much I feel like they look at your stories and they think of you. Yeah, I do feel like they'd like a fresh start. I almost feel like they think about, if I met pile 3 now, like we would have a much better chance. We would be more mature, or if I could have a fresh start with pile 3, I would know exactly how to go about it. I would know exactly what to say. I wouldn't be so awkward is what I'm hearing. And I could just make it work now. But at the time, or whenever you guys met, it feels like they didn't necessarily have everything like figured out as much, or they just didn't know how to approach you in the right way. So yeah, there's this sense of, I just want to redo. I just want one more shot with pile 3. I'm going to shuffle from this deck now. Please give me guidance for pile 3 about their person and them, and what their person is thinking for them. What is their person thinking for them? I think I have small hands because I always have a hard time shuffling fast certain larger decks. Let's see. Endless serendipity. Okay. So that makes sense that we got decluttering, connect with nature. I don't know if some of you guys are into nature, or I feel like you might be just kind of an adventurous spirit and like post things online that are just dear to you, like mean a lot to you. Like maybe you're out in nature and you're posting a photo of a deer or a photo of a squirrel or something, I don't know, and this person just thinks it's really cute. Like I feel like they think of the way you look at the world and the way you see the beauty in so many things as very beautiful. Like your perspective on things, there's kind of a sweetness and a cuteness and a openness about you that I think this person really respects, even if they don't have that as much themselves, or they might not exhibit that trait themselves, and they might be kind of like wanting to come off a little tough, but I feel like you kind of bring them back to that place of like stopping to smell the roses and appreciating the beauty of life, and they find you just very cute and endearing. We also got endless serendipity. So I do feel like this person fantasizes about like running into you in a store, running into you in a coffee shop. They don't want to have to, again, plan this out, because then I feel like the reason they like that idea is because then there's plausible deniability, right? Then they can be like, oh, I was just getting coffee and I don't know, pile 3 was there. No, I didn't drive across town to go get coffee at their local coffee shop. No, I was in the area to run errands, but anyway, I didn't know pile 3 was going to be there. Like, you know what I mean? They would make up some ridiculous story, or they would go to great lengths to hide the fact that they do want to see you. I'm really not sure why, but it feels like they just don't want to admit that they are thinking of you so much, and they might even think like you've moved on or that you don't care that much about them. And I feel like they really can't understand, like, why do I keep going back to this person? Why am I obsessed with them? They might perceive you as having decluttered and like cleared them out of your life, so to speak, so that you're not super obsessed with them the way they are with you. Let's see. We got take action. So I feel like this person is very tempted to reach out to you. They do think about you quite a lot. And it's sorry guys, I had to redo filming just because we got a little bit of a kind of inappropriate word on one of the cards, and I try to be really careful with all the language. So anyway, it was no F's given, which I feel like a big thing with this person. Again, what I was saying is it's hard for them to not text you. It's hard for them to continue to give an F so much about what other people think, because I feel like as time goes on more and more, they're like, what am I even doing this for? Why am I appeasing these people in my life? Why did I listen? It might have even been that like this relationship blockages was happening at the time. If it's been a minute since like you guys stopped talking or whatever, it could have been something that was in the past. Like it could have been like at the time their friends were like, by the way, like, do not text her or do not text him. You're not allowed to talk to him again. That kind of a thing. And so this person is thinking back to that and just being like, why did I listen? Why did I pay attention? Why did I value those people over me? Or that their mom was like, you need to break up with him. And this person listened to that and didn't listen to their own feelings. And now I feel like there's a little bit of bitterness and resentment because they can just see you from afar and see how good you look, see how beautiful you are, and also reminisce on your time together. So they might not even realize it, but they're kind of like manifesting you by thinking on you so much all the time. And I do feel like they have to hold themselves back from like writing you or talking to you or DMing you, calling you. There's this feeling that I get, that I think they have of like, I just want to reach out. Maybe I should just send this. Maybe I should just do it. Like I almost feel like if they have too much to drink, they would start texting out. They would start writing out a text to send you, or they would start having this deep urge to call you. If you've changed your number since you were around them, it might be that they did try to reach out and did try to call you and like it didn't go through. But this person definitely wants, it's hard for them to like not actually follow through and not actually start making this happen. And I also feel like there's a lot of nostalgia that they have for you. I also feel like they spend time parsing over those memories, replaying them in their mind. It's almost like it might have been a highlight of their life with you. Or if this is still someone you're in connection with, they might just constantly be replaying these memories of times with you in like a wistful, positive way. But if you guys haven't talked for a while, it's in a more sad way. But either way, they definitely think back on the time they had with you as being very precious and something they value quite a lot. Let's see what other cards we're going to get. So we just got the Web Weaver. I just heard a message like, we belong together. And I feel like that's how this person feels about you. You might have felt like this was like a twin flame soulmate connection that felt super, super deep. And I feel like that's how this person sees it as well, because I almost feel like both of you guys understood each other on such a deep level that like no one else could compare or understand. No one else could come close to this, because both of you guys are just simpatico on so many subjects. Like, you have so much in common. I feel like there was a lot of stuff that didn't even need to be said. Like, no one needed to have like a talk about politics or anything like that. No one needed to sit down and be like, so how do you feel about XY current event? It was just something where both of you guys probably just vibed and were like on the same page with so many things. And you'd be like, oh, that's your favorite band? Oh my God, I like really similar music. Or, you know, oh, you really are obsessed with snakes? Oh, so do I love them. Like, that's so crazy. No one else likes reptiles as pets. Like, there's stuff like that that I just feel like there was so much in common. And that can happen with twin flame vibes, because it means that, you know, there's so much in common, that you're twin souls. And so I feel like that's a feeling that this person had. They might not have the words for it, but they definitely felt the same. We got Camel Boy asking for help. I do feel like sometimes this person might have literally kind of screamed to the sky and been like, I don't know what to do. Like, I miss pile 3 so much. I want to be with them so bad. I just don't know how to go about that. I don't know how to make it happen. I don't know what I'm supposed to say or how I'm supposed to fix this, because I almost feel like because they listened to their friends, or because they went along with kind of like the crowd, whatever the crowd was wanting from them, whether it was that family member, friends, whatever, because of that, this person feels like they really bungled things up for themselves. And they're kind of like, I'm in this tricky situation where you will no longer respect them anyway because you feel abandoned by them, or like too much time has passed. And then if they do that, they're also feeling like they're leaving behind these people, whoever they are, whether it's just a current partner they're with that they don't want to know about you, or whether it's their family or their friends, but that like it's going to be this huge discussion. Everyone's going to be talking about it. And I feel like this person's also afraid they're going to look like a clown themselves. They're going to look like this idiot, or this, again, stupid simp who doesn't have any self-respect because they keep crawling back to you and begging you, and you probably will say no anyway, but they feel this divine pull to you. They definitely feel the depth of this connection, and they definitely have missed you and felt the absence of you no longer being around them, for sure. I also feel like they see you as highly intelligent. We got the High Priestess and the Web Weaver, so I feel like they see you as someone who is very spiritual, very calm, has a very divine energy, and there might have even been something kind of spiritual about like the sex or the physicality between you guys. It might have felt kind of like transcendent or transcendental, where you guys were, you know, like just having sex, I guess, but it felt like lovemaking, or it felt like a soul to soul connection. And I feel like this person just misses having that aspect in their life, and whatever they're doing now, it definitely can't compare. So I feel like they reminisce a lot about that, and I'm seeing your eyes being very beautiful, and when they would stare at your eyes, they would just be like lost in them. Like, I'm hearing they have galaxies in their eyes. They're really bringing up your eyes a lot in this. It's really funny. Let's get some astrology dice for pile 3. I want to get some astrology dice for pile 3, Spirit. Oh, so that one's half. Okay, so we got Virgo. This one's half between the moon and Mars, and it just landed on the moon, but let's spin it again. And then the first house, Aries, and then the nodes, Destiny. I'm gonna spin it one more time to get another astrology sign. Jupiter. Okay, so that's really interesting. Jupiter is a sign of divine wisdom. It is a sign of like higher learning, education, philosophy, but also divine wisdom and God. So I feel like there was a godly feeling to this relationship, or a divine fated feeling, like it was brought together by a higher power. Maybe it was even like you guys met in a way that was kind of weird, like you could have easily missed each other, or you both weren't supposed to be there that day, but you both showed up to like some random friends of a friend's party, and it was like you weren't even going going to go, but then you decided last minute and they were supposed to be somewhere else, but they changed their mind, like, or someone was running late, something like that. But I feel like it's almost like both of you guys might feel like you were brought together divinely by spirit. And with Virgo, maybe this person has some Virgo placements, or you could have those placements. Right now for astrology, we are seeing Sagittarius, Virgo, and Aries. And I also feel like with that Aries placement, there's something very independent about you guys in particular. I'm feeling like you were the kind of person where when they didn't act right or they didn't come back to you, you're just like, okay, bye. I'm doing me. I'm living my best life. I'm doing myself. And I feel like that's just made this person more and more wistful, because it's almost like they have to watch from afar as you just experience beautiful things, you accomplish things, you're doing well for yourself, you're living your best life. And I do feel like this person just, it's like they wish they could be a part of it. You know, they wish they could still have access to you. And I do feel like they consider them not acting right with you to be one of the big mistakes of their life. It's almost like they might have been too critical of you as well with that Virgo placement. They might have been overly, you know, corrective, because that's what we love about Virgo, is they can see things that need to be improved. But sometimes, you know, that's why it's debilitating in Venus, is when it comes to love, sometimes you don't want to be criticized. You don't want someone to be like, oh, that needs to switch, that needs to change. You just want them to love you as you are. And maybe this person has had time to reflect on that and to realize that, like, they should have been more accepting to you. And like, everyone, maybe you do have flaws, but also like everyone does. And that it wasn't the vibe or the energy to bring to you. And you certainly weren't going to listen to them and be like, okay, I'll switch this. You were just going to be like, okay, you don't like it? Okay, bye. See you later. So I feel like now they've just had a lot of time to reflect, and they definitely feel your absence. Honestly, it feels like they still are hoping that one day you guys can get back together, but I also feel like that hope kind of slips away as every day passes, and they still don't have the courage to reach out. But I feel like they want to one day really bad, and sometimes it's so hard for them to hold themselves back from doing it. Also, I feel like this person really wants your attention, but it's almost like they would want you to be the one to reach out. They would want you to be the one to send the text, or you to be the one to send the DM. And that's maybe been a hope of them the whole time, is for you to initiate contact, because they're kind of afraid to do it. But if you did, it would like take off immediately. But I also feel like a lot of you guys aren't going to do that, because you're like, no, like I have more self-respect than that, and you made your choice, and that's fine. And so I feel like that's kind of what's driving them crazy, is they didn't think you were going to do that. They did think sooner or later you were going to have to like be the one to text them or call them, and now they're like, wait a minute, this is really the bed that I made and I have to lie in it? I don't know about this. So let's get some more cards from this deck to end the reading. Spirit, please give me guidance for pile 3 about their person's feelings for them. So we got trust. I just heard the song from Lil Peep where he says, trust me, I got nothing for you other than love. Oh, and he says, put it on me, baby, that's the best part, baby, the trust, something like that. So I feel like the trust you guys had, and this all often happens within a twin flame soulmate connection, it's like there's an immediate trust, there's an immediate knowing, because it's not like you're like doing that thing where when you first meet someone and you're like, who is this? What do you like? Let me feel out this person's energy first. Like, you meet them and it's like you've known each other for 100 years, because you've known each other for thousands of years. So it's like it goes from 0 to 60. And whereas usually, you know, you might open up to someone about like your parents getting divorced on the 4th date, you're telling them all about it 10 minutes in, and they're super understanding, and then they tell you about their parents' situation, and it's just like instant trust, and it just is instantly deep. So I feel like it was just this magical vibe I'm feeling between you guys, especially like in the bedroom. I keep bringing that up. Sorry, we're not trying to make it into one of these readings, sir, whoever you are. Okay, so we got career, trust, compassion, freedom, and this is the other thing that's coming through. And that definitely might tie back to the original first cards we got, which is the 10 of Pentacles. and the Knight of Pentacles, which I feel like is you guys doing really well in your life. Empowerment. As I'm saying that, I literally turn over the empowerment card because you guys are so empowered. Like, I feel like you might have made some strides lately or gotten promoted in your career, or just be like more willing to show it off lately, or more willing to be like, this is what I'm doing, and like, it's pretty awesome. And I feel like this person sees it and they just were like, oh God, because I feel like they really thought that like one day you'd have to come back, and now they're like, there's literally no chance. They're doing so good. They feel like they're living their best life. They're on top of the world. Everything's going great for them. And why would they ever want me now? So this was a big miscalculation. Breaking up with them, hoping they would come crawling back, is definitely not in the cards. I feel like it's funny. I feel like there was a lot of hurt feelings at the time, but it's almost like as time has passed, this person just only has, you know, like I was just saying, that quote from Lil Peep, trust me, I got nothing for you other than love. Like, whereas in the past there might have been hostility, there might have been pain and anger. Now it's just like, we know that what was underpinning that was a lot of love. And I feel like this person wishes they had the bravery to actually reach out to like make that happen and cross that bridge. But I don't know if they do. I feel like a lot of them, like I said, they're afraid of what others think. They don't want to like be like the powerless one in the relationship. But I feel like, you know, I am hearing that Rumi quote, which came up with another pile. I don't remember which, but it's beyond ideas of right or wrong. There's a field. I'll find you there. And I think that's really what it is like, yeah, there might have been a breakdown in the relationship for whatever reason, but at the end of the day, there's so much love between you guys that this person feels, and I feel like you feel, and I feel like you're kind of on your own path now though as well. And this person, you know, they're gonna have to sit and watch, and that might be really sad for them, but it is their own consequences of their own actions. So, you know, I don't know. But yeah, that is what is coming up for you. Pile 3, I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I'm very curious about this pile because I want to know what this drama is that this person is, you know, kind of mad about at the time, or whatever was holding them back from stepping forward, whether it was friends, family, career, I don't know. Let me know, because it just satisfied my curiosity on this. And make sure to hit the like button, give this reading a thumbs up if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys would like to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where you can get access to about 45 additional readings. I just posted one that is actually messages from your future spouse. So considering this is an ex, you definitely might want to watch this to find out more about who you're going to actually marry, and it might be more positive, less bitter. So it might be a good palate cleanser. And then also you will get access to all my readings as soon as you sign up. So readings about life, love, spirituality, career, money, relocation, so many different topics, so much to choose from, and we vote on new topics and suggest new topics all the time. So you guys really get to kind of be on the driver's seat over there. Anyway, I would love to have you join our little tribe over at Patreon, and the link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description as well. So if you guys also would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, do astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitive readings. But there's lots to choose from over at my website. So like I said, briarrosetarot.com if you want further clarification on any issue, or just to do a little energy check-in and see what your guides want you to know right now. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light. So I will see you in the next reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4, so if you guys picked this pineapple, this is going to be your reading. This one is super realistic. You can see all the little points on the pineapple look like the real thing. The leaves do as well. They even have the little prickly things on the side. And then on the base, there's a little stalk where it would have grown out of the plant. So it looks so realistic. Love the coloring as well, and it's pretty heavy. Anyways, guys, let's get into your cards. You guys got the Death card, Eight of Wands reversed, Eight of Pentacles reversed, and the Temperance card. So the first thing that's coming through is your person is almost feeling very defeated. I feel like they have gone through a little bit of a period of mourning, of like, I guess I'm accepting this. Maybe I was in denial for a while, but now I'm accepting the fact that I'm not with pile 4 and we're not together. And it feels like there's a very wistful feeling of like, okay, so everything didn't work out, or like, so I mean, they are a little bit bitter. They are a little bit sad. I feel like they are feeling like they put a lot of work in and it hasn't come out the way they intended. It hasn't happened the way they thought. They might have felt like they were giving their A game, but it wasn't good enough. And I feel like this person is beating themselves up a little bit because maybe they do feel like it falls on them, or they did something to mess it up somehow, or that the fact that you guys aren't together is something that they are going to have to contend with, and that something that, you know, they are to blame for. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of kind of self beating up energy happening. Like I could see someone sitting alone in their room and just looking at old pictures or listening to sad love songs and just being like, oh, I'm such an idiot, you know? And I feel like there's a sense of, yeah, defeat from this person, or even like depressed, like, oh, I'm such a loser kind of vibes when it comes to your situation and your connection, because I feel like they don't feel like you did anything wrong. So they are kind of accepting responsibility to a certain extent of like their stuff. It's their fault it didn't work out, but at the same time, I feel like they do feel like they gave it their all to some extent. So yeah, it's kind of a mix of emotions. Let's get some song cards for pile 4. Please, Spirit, give me some song cards for pile 4. So we got False God, Taylor Swift. Ocean Eyes, Billie Eilish. One thing they really love about you that's coming in really quick is how smart you guys are. I feel like in pile 4, you guys are extremely smart. You guys are very like good readers of people. You might be highly intuitive, but it almost feels like nothing gets past you. It feels like you guys have high standards and you have a lot more dignity than like the average person. Like I almost feel like that's one of the things this person really likes about you and kind of sets you apart from the crowd in their mind, is like it feels like you were never desperate for their attention, or you were never kind of silly and trying to like fawn over them to get them to like you. It feels like you were always super dignified and always like march to the beat of your own drum. It feels like you're not trying to fit in with the crowd and just do what everyone else thinks. And so I feel like because of that, like I'm hearing Renegade by Taylor Swift, you've become kind of like very mysterious in their eyes, or there's something very dynamic and interesting and bold about you in that way that this person respects quite a lot. So yeah, we got Romeo, Chairlift. For some of these people, they might have been quite a charmer with others, and maybe that's where this contrast is. Like maybe they could get everyone else to kind of fall in love with them, but you were like hard to get. Not you weren't playing hard to get, but you were actually hard to get, and you are not someone who is gonna just like giggle and, you know, twirl your hair to get their attention. You're gonna be someone who's like, okay, do you know this band? Okay, then you're lame. Like I feel like you would be a little bit, they might have even been intimidated to approach you. And I do feel like this person might look back and be like, I wish I had actually like asked them out, or I wish I had actually, if they did ask you out, I wish I had like deepened the relationship more, whether it's they never asked you to be exclusive, or they never asked you to marry them and they wanted to like get engaged to you. But there's something where I feel like this person kind of like chickened out, or they were intimidated by you, or they just didn't take it as seriously as they should have. And it feels like you just didn't wait around. You were like, okay, bye. And I feel like this person is like, okay, I definitely accept responsibility for this. This was my fault. I was the one who was supposed to make it something more than it was. And like, I totally failed on that. So yeah, I think there's a sense of them looking back and being a little bit like regretful for their actions. I do feel like with this person as well, they are mentioning that you guys have a really cool sense of fashion, or a really cool sense of musical taste. And again, this person has a lot of respect for how you carry yourself. I feel like you guys are also, like I said, you're not the giggling, overly trying to be nice to everyone to make everyone like you. It feels like you don't really care if someone doesn't like you that much, because you are the type to do your own thing. And it's not to say you're mean or you're cruel, but I also feel like you have a very strong sense of independence, and you're not so worried about what other people have to say or think of you. And I feel like you create quite the stir when you walk into a room because of that. A lot of people's heads turn to look at you. A lot of people are like, wow, who is that? Because you have that air of like, I don't really care whether you look or not. That just makes people want to look all the more, you know, like it's kind of like how a celebrity might go out and they're wearing like a hat and sunglasses and they're like clearly trying to hide, and maybe before you wouldn't have noticed them, but then you're like, who is that person standing in the corner and why are they acting so like private? Okay, so they don't want me to look, now I want to look more. But there is that vibe with you that you weren't the type to like try to make everyone like you and go out of your way to suck up to people. I feel like you guys have a very strong power, and like there's a there's a depth to you. So when you walk into a room, people kind of feel the temperature in the room change. They kind of like might turn their head to look at you. I'm getting kind of Aquarius vibes. And also I could see Capricorn vibes as well. I think that was coming through in pile 1, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I feel like you guys might be heavy Capricorn or Aquarius, and that kind of gravitas of Saturn, that intensity, that depth. I could also see Scorpio vibes in this for sure. Let's get some more cards. So we got Yummy, Justin Bieber. I just heard something like, I almost had her. I almost had you. So I feel like it's almost like this person feels like they did make momentum with you. They know that like you were open, but it almost feels like they felt like they had to earn you. You know, they felt like they knew they couldn't come like acting badly with you. They knew they couldn't approach you with like some kind of janky situation, janky offer, horrible date, like taking you out to like McDonald's. They probably felt like they really had to step up to the plate to be with you. And I do feel like for them, they are taking responsibility and blame in the fact that that didn't work out that way. They are taking responsibility for the fact that they ended up, I feel like, chickening out from even offering to you. They might have been afraid that you would go on that date with them and you'd be like, what is this? No, I'm leaving. But either way, I feel like they kind of, like I said, chickened out, made a mistake, and didn't even want to ask you because they're like, I know pile 4 is going to say no, or I know pile 4 isn't going to be impressed by this, so what's the point? So we got Love My Way, Psychedelic Furs, and again, I feel like this person thinks you have a really cool musical taste. There's something about you that like they are intimidated. It might even just be the way you dress, but I'm hearing you dress cooler than like everyone around you. So we got Bruises, Chairlift, Never Gonna Give You Up by the Black Keys, and A Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay. I feel like this person also thinks you're really witty and funny, but not that you necessarily try to be witty and funny, but there's something about you that I'm almost getting like Aubrey Plaza vibes. Like, you know how she's like very unimpressed by things and she's not trying to be like a ham. She's not coming around and being like, hey, did you hear this joke about the horse that walked into a bar? Haha. Like, she's not trying to be funny like that. She's just naturally funny and naturally quick-witted. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people have crushes on her because of that, because she's not trying so hard. And she definitely gives me scorpionic vibes. I don't know her birth chart, but I feel like there's kind of that quality of like, also you see through people, you're intense. And I feel like with this person, they're just like I had the shot. It was there. I should have made it. And maybe I chickened out, or maybe I just thought, you know, I don't want to put myself at risk. Just like I'm sure it would be hard to like romantically approach Aubrey Plaza, because she does seem like she would kind of like, if you came to her with a corny pickup line, she's so funny that she'd be like, that was really bad. And like, she wouldn't be like just giggling and try to get you to like her. She'd probably tell you it was bad. And so, yeah, I feel like there's something quite intimidating about you guys in pile 4. We want to also pull from this deck. Spirit, please give me guidance about pile 4. What do they need to know about their person and what their person is thinking? So we got Upside Down. Okay. Feels like they think you moved on. They think you're just like good now. You've created a new life for yourself, or you're living your best life. And I feel like you kind of give off queen vibes. Like you wouldn't settle for less. You wouldn't settle for them not bringing their A game. There also might be something very creative about you. I can see that for sure. And like very outside the box. Just like I feel like, again, not to sound obsessed with Aubrey Plaza or to turn this into an Aubrey Plaza exclusive reading, but I do feel like, you know, she comes off creative, and she also comes off like someone who's just invested in her life, busy, whatever, and that kind of is the vibe. Like, you're not the standard person who would be impressed by what someone else would be impressed by. You wouldn't necessarily be impressed by money, or you wouldn't necessarily be impressed by a cool car or other things like that, or just a funny pickup line that isn't that great. You really kind of see to someone's soul. So they really need to like be okay with being seen in that way. And maybe that's what this person wasn't okay with. They might have been like, I don't need anyone staring into my soul. This is too much for me. This is a little too intense. But it almost feels like they got scared. It feels like they, like I keep saying, chickened out. I also feel like they see you as someone, like I said, highly successful. Like you're on a career path, if you're on a career trajectory to doing something really amazing, that I don't know if they might worry they might not have the same amount of money as you, or they might worry they might be in like a different social class or something like that, or like I can never compare. They might have thought they had more time with you to build up their situation in life so that they could approach you at a later date, and they thought they would have more time to do so. And I almost feel like for some of you guys, you just left, or you just bounced, or you just like, you know, walked out one day and never came back, and they weren't expecting that. They thought they were going to have more time around you. Let me get more. Oh, that was the 9 of Pentacles. Yep, I'm telling you guys, that's the vibe. Let's see what these are. 9 of Cups. Yes, I definitely think they perceive you as living your best life. And we got the 6 of Pentacles as well. And they also perceive you as having a lot of suitors, a lot of other people who are interested in you, a lot of people who would want to date you. So I feel like they're like, why even bother? Or that's how they thought at the time. But now that the feeling of missing you has set in, they realize why they should have bothered and why they should have taken that risk, and why they should have, you know, put themselves out there, even if it is scary to do so. It's like, okay, I get it now. I get it. I see it. Because even if they could have gotten shot down, at least they would know. I feel like this person has a lot of uncertainty. They might even want to contact you, but they might not like have your contact information as well. You might have changed your number or never given them your number or something. I feel like this person also, if they do have your number, they might think it would be weird to reach out to you at this point. They might think you would be like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to talk to me? I'm sorry, who are you? I don't even remember you. Like, I feel like there's that fear that, again, you would shoot them down in a harsh way, or that you're just living your best life and you have this amazing reality and that you're not looking to add them into it. And also that you might make more money than them. They might perceive you as being a little bit bougier or just having a lot of money, and that, you know, if they dated you, there would be a real power imbalance when it comes to that. But I also think that they see you as someone who's had a lot of maybe different relationships, and good relationships at that. They might perceive that you've dated a lot of powerful people or very attractive people, and that they would worry about measuring up to that. That if they were to date you, look, the Empress, I'm telling you, that you probably wouldn't even date them. Or maybe there was a night when like you got a little too tipsy and you were flirty with them, but they look back at that as like, yeah, they were drunk that night, and like they probably were embarrassed when they woke up, and they like, I have no chance. And they might not have known that you did feel that depth of connection with them. I feel like this person kind of does a lot of rationalizing. They're not necessarily someone who trusts their intuition as much as you do, pile 4. So I feel like even though they feel that connection, they'd also tell themselves like, you're crazy, or why do you keep thinking of this person, or like, yeah, you probably just needed to get laid, or something like that. You know, they would like write it off and not acknowledge the spiritual side of it, not acknowledge the depth of the connection they're feeling, because they're definitely a little bit uncomfortable, I feel like, with that kind of soulmate twin flame. They might not even like that word. They might kind of bristle if someone says that word, or if someone were like, well, that sounds like a twin flame connection, they might be like, oh my God, that's so corny. That's not even real. I feel like you also made them view things in a very different way. Like they might have had a type before you, and you looked very different from that type. They might have usually always dated blondes and you're a brunette, or people with tan skin and you have pale skin, or I don't know, you know, people who are very math centric and then you're very creative, or vice versa. So anyway, I feel like you are definitely unique for them. Like they might also have been a little bit of a player themselves. They might have dated around a lot and had a lot of success with others. And I feel like it's almost like you're way more serious than them, you know? They might feel like they're too young for you, or they just don't have their life together, or they were able to charm other people, but they knew they would have to bring their A game with you. I'm thinking of that phrase that's kind of corny, but it used to be on a lot of like Instagram photos that was like, hey, I heard you're a player. Well, meet the coach, and like a picture of a girl. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe though. Like, yeah, they might have been a player, but they couldn't really measure up to you and your standards. They might have been playing around, but with like people who were, not as wise um, or as intuitive, or even with people who are a lot younger than you. And you might be like a little bit older and maybe a little, older and wiser, as they say. So that might have been another reason. They might have been holding back because they're like, okay, I'm used to kind of dealing with like girls, and this person's a woman, or boys, and this is a man. Not that, of course, that relates to age. You can be, very wise and young and very old and childish, but, I feel like that's the vibe energetically. Let's get more cards for pile 4. We want to know what messages we get from pile 4's person. Ringmaster of scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, details. And that's really the problem, isn't it? You have a lot of discernment and you have a very clear vision, and it's almost like you saw them super clearly. But I'm feeling like the conversations that you guys had were just amazing. So on point, like you guys could talk for hours. And I feel like there's something also very attractive about your mouth when you speak, and also just about the way you say words and just about your intelligence. Like I feel like talking to you is kind of a pleasure because you're very smart, you're very witty, you have a unique perspective on things. You're not just going to follow the crowd and say what everyone else thinks or everyone else would say. You really are someone that has a unique perspective. And I feel like even though you might be standoffish at first, you're also so protective, giving, and loving to the people you're close to. You would go out of your way to help someone or to give to someone. And because of that, I feel like this person saw that about you. They saw that you weren't just like this cold ice queen. You're actually super generous, and you're actually the person who would do the most for the people around you, more than even the person who might come off as super bubbly and warm. You are the person that would actually give the shirt off your back. And please excuse if there is like a little construction noise happening. Anyway, I'm just going to try to get through the reading and then do some noise reduction. But my point is that with you guys, I feel like they look back now and they also see you as like wifey potential or long-term partner potential. You're not the kind of person who is like a one night stand, hit it and quit it type. And that might be what they're used to. I feel like with you, you have the potential of someone they could bring around their parents, someone they could bring around their friends. They would be like, who was that? That was a really cool person. That person was like awesome. And I wish we could see her again. Like, is she coming around? Because you just are like that really cool, chill, relaxed. You might have even been told you were like one of the guys at different times, or you might just get along well with guys, or if you're a guy, you might get along well with girls. But either way, I feel like there's a maturity around you, and there's an ability to like kind of be a chameleon and fit into different social groups and understand someone who might be different from you. You're not closed off or judgmental the way other people would be, and like it feels like you're very open-minded and relaxed. So I feel like this person, like I said, they have that sense of like, I really wish I hadn't messed this one up. They might have even still been in player mode when they met you, and that might have been a factor as well, as they were just like, well, I'm just gonna keep playing the field. I don't want anything serious right now. I'm just gonna keep things chill. And I feel like because of that, they might have lost you. And I feel like they think back on you actually a lot, and kind of, they might have also thought you were like better than the situation that they met you in. So if they met you at like a workplace, they might have felt like, how is Pile 4 working at this job? Like, this job is so bad, and Pile 4 should be being like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. They're so smart. Or Pile 4 should be not at this like really sad little law firm working as a legal assistant. They should be like the partner in a major law firm in like Manhattan. They shouldn't be doing filing work or something like that. Or if they met you in a social group, they might have felt like you were just way cooler and better than everyone in your social group, or that kind of a thing. If they met you in an apartment complex, they might have felt like, why is Pile 4 living here? Like, I would assume they're living in a mansion. Like, they just seem so successful. So I feel like there's a vibe or an energy where you like didn't fit in, but it was in a really good way. And also there's a lot of jealous people around you. Pile 4 is what I'm hearing. And this person noticed it. They're more perceptive than they give on. And I feel like that's what they liked about you, is actually they are perceptive, but they kind of hide it or hold it back in order to fit in socially. They kind of don't listen to their intuition as much. And I feel like with you, you do listen to your intuition. So if you get a bad vibe from someone, you're not going to hang out with them and just be like, oh, whatever, like a lot of people will do. Instead, you're going to be like, no, I don't like that person. No, I don't want to go for drinks with them. Nope, I'll just stay inside. And so I feel like this person would get the vibe, they would get the intuition, and they would feel that feeling of like, yeah, probably shouldn't hang out with that person, but they'd go anyway and they'd smooth it over and they'd wish for the best. And I feel like they really respect the way you would always like hold your head high with dignity, and you wouldn't be willing to put up with the nonsense that other people were. So I feel like this is another reason why this person kind of feels regretful and feels like you moved on to like better pastures and wish that they could have handled things better, or even just gotten your contact info before you left. Like I feel like they're like, I can't believe I can't reach out and talk to them anymore. I can't believe they're not really in my life anymore. I do feel like they would love to get back into your life somehow, like find a way to contact you some way, somehow. Let's get some astrology dice. So we got Leo, 4th house. And we got Mercury. So the astrological energy, Leo, Cancer, and then Gemini and Virgo. So again, with Mercury, you guys are highly, highly intelligent. The conversational skills are on point. Conversations you would have with them are on point. You guys just feel like you really know what to say. You're probably highly informed. I was going to say informative, but informed is the word, but you could be informative too on a number of different subjects. Like I feel like you would just, if someone asked you some random information about like, I don't know, blueberry growth, you might know. Or if they asked you about some random European history, you might know. And people might be like, how does Pile 4 know so much? They must spend a lot of time on Wikipedia or something, because they just know everything. But I feel like, again, conversation with you is really amazing. They just enjoy talking to you. And if this person was just hugging up with a lot of people, that might have been very refreshing for them, is like, wow, I can really talk to Pile 4, and it's not just about the physical attraction, even though that's there and it's so strong, and they have this queen-like, super attractive, magnetic energy to them. But it's not just that. That's not the only thing. It's not just the physical. It's so much deeper than that, and that's what's so attractive about them. Also with Leo energy, like I was saying, all eyes are on you when you walk into the room. I feel like so many people see you as very attractive, beautiful, elusive, but there's also kind of like a intensity, a darkness around you, depth to you that keeps people's wheels turning in their head. They kind of can't figure you out. There's a lot of mystery around you. There's a lot of like, I want to know more, but I can't quite put my finger on Pile 4. I am curious about them, but I also feel like I don't really know them so well. There is a level of depth there that is kind of like, I really can't get my head around this person. I'm so curious about them. I want to know more. And I think I know them, but I really don't know them. And that is kind of coming through with Cancer and water signs. A lot of them are like this. That's why water is represented by water, is because you can't really see through it in the way you can kind of see all the other signs. But with water, there's a lot of hidden things. You can hide things in water. They're always like digging like cars out of lakes, and not even that deep of lakes, but like that's water. It can obscure, it can have a lot of depth or be really shallow, and you won't necessarily know until you get into it. But the thing about it is, with you guys, I feel like there is a lot of depth for you, but on the other side of that, you are so protective of the people around you. That's why Cancer is represented by the crab, is because it's that archetype of someone who might be kind of sharp and, very protective of their loved ones and of themselves, and has those pinchers that they can like clip you with, but at the same time are so protective and loving and are literally the moms of the zodiac. So maybe you were a little bit older than them, or just energetically older than them, but there is a vibe where this person feels like, as much as you might have been harsh or tough to people sometimes, you would also be the most protective, loving person around and the best parent. So yeah, I feel like how they feel about you is definitely kind of looking back and wishing they had handled things differently, looking back at your time together and kind of laughing about some of your discussions, conversations you guys had, because I do feel like it was super on point, but also having a vibe of, you know, I wish I could get back in touch with them. I wish I still had their number. I wish I could still have access to them, or I could see them every day, or we could have our talks. And I kind of blew that. They might have even been in another relationship at the time, and that might have been a reason why they didn't step forward. Yep, definitely could have been. And then, excuse me, kind of choking. And then it could be that they're single now and they're like, I can't believe I gave up pile 4 for that relationship. Like, I wasn't even thinking. And I just was scared and I stayed loyal to my partner, but I knew deep down it wasn't going to work out. Because I feel like they were kind of very tempted by you, but ultimately they didn't muster up the courage. And it feels like they are seeing you guys do really well for yourself, or they're just expecting, they're just assuming that you will do really well. They just know in their hearts that you're going to be such a big success, and they can feel that around you. You guys have really strong boundaries, by the way, which we kind of already covered, but I feel like they can see the energy of success. They can see that you're going to be doing something really cool, and I feel like they just kind of like for chicken. Like, I feel like if they had met you later, like maybe give them 10 years from whenever you met them, and I feel like that would be like a much better time when you guys would be more in alignment, because I feel like whenever you met this person, they didn't really have their life figured out so much. Like, they might have been in a very messy situation. They might have been a messy career, or they might have been in a messy living situation, or whatever, money situation. And it's almost like they didn't have everything together in the way they should have had it in order to step towards you the way you deserve. And they knew it, so they kind of didn't want to approach you like that. And maybe they thought they'd have more time, but now they're like, ugh, I just ran out of time and I should have just gone for it. But I do feel like they would like to maybe approach you one day again with making this situation happen again, or giving it a second chance. They still are very, it's almost like they're amused by you. I feel like some of you guys are kind of tough, or maybe you've had situations where you said something really kind of harsh to someone, but it was like witty, like, you know, Aubrey Plaza vibes, like how she's kind of, that's what she's known for. Her sense of humor is she's kind of like the tough girl, but so many guys have crushes on her. I feel like that's kind of you. Like, you don't seem like you would just be like a giggling fool to make someone like you, but it makes people like you more. And I think this person might follow you from the side if they did ever get like your information or your Instagram or your you know, TikTok or whatever the case may be. I feel like they would definitely look you up and try to see what you're up to and kind of follow you in that way. And maybe in the future they might get in touch with you. I don't know, give it some time, give them some time to catch up to you, because honestly I feel like you guys are doing so well, pile 4, that they're very intrigued by you. They just don't know if they can measure up. But anyways, guys, that's what I have for you, pile 4. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments, because I really want to know about this pile. I'm very curious what this energy is. So please let me know who this was, or what the vibe was, how accurate this was with what I was picking up, and what this story is, because I just got to know. I am really curious about this. And make sure to hit the like button, guys. Give it a thumbs up if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe as well and hit the notification bell so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys would like to see more of my content, then head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional tarot readings. Once you sign up, you get access to about 45 additional readings. I just posted one that's all about messages from your future spouse. So that might be a nice palette cleanser. Since this person seems to have messed up, this person hopefully will not mess up, and that's why you guys are going to end up marrying them. So it'll be much more happy messages, I would say. But anyways, if you guys want to head there to check that out, as soon as you sign up for my Patreon, you get access to all my additional readings. So about 45 additional readings about life, love, spirituality, career, relocation, money, and so many different topics to choose from. And you can also suggest new readings and vote on new readings. So there's a lot to do over at Patreon, a lot of content to choose from. And I really hope you will join us, join our little tribe over there. And so the link for that is underneath underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description as well. And if you guys would like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and sign up for a half hour or a full hour session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, channel intuitively, channel mediumship, or do astrology for you, or do a mix. You get to ask me whatever question you'd like within reason, or you can have me do a year ahead reading or just channel. But either way, you guys can sign up for that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I would love to do a reading for you. So with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you a big hug, and I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.